Hiya, this is another video. This is a big one. Power, control, propaganda, domination, manipulation, herding, all that stuff. Oh, it's just all wrong. And so let's give an example, because if I don't, I'm just going to keep saying these buzzwords, and that's not the way I want to come across. A classic example is what I'll focus on fully in this video of the title. So all that them buzzwords in the title. Let's get something, an example of it. Left, right, an artificial, manufactured spectrum that all of that power propaganda uses. Now, therefore, what is real? Real is there's a top and there's a bottom. That is the substance. That's the meat. That's not spin. That's not branding. That's real life. There's a top and a bottom, and in between, of course. So, to be crystal clear, this video, you can read the title, and then we'll give an example of it, a very, very important example of it, which is this artificial left-right, where people are just herded like sheepdogs into their cages. And the artificial is that's the artificial, left-right. The real is there's a top and bottom in society, like there's people with very little and there's people with a lot. Very little in terms of voice, which is power, where there's at the top, they have megaphones, they have TV news, they have newspapers, they have Rupert Murdoch, who acts like a dictator who's never been elected. They have all of that, and then they divide the working class, because some people fall for it and others don't. So, of course, is the income, top and bottom. From billionaires, I like to say this because it's true, top 26 billionaires have as much income and wealth as the bottom 3.4 billion people, bottom 3.4 billion people. There is vast inequality. That is real. And the worst thing about that is that it's precisely those at the top who still benefit from that vast inequality, who are able to keep it going, because they control the megaphones, the news media. They blackmail the politicians. Maybe it's legal, so it's not officially blackmail, but you know what I mean. I can't go up to a politician and say, look, if you introduce UBI, I'll give you a few million quid. That's what they do, except it's for the tax cuts. So we're looking at the artificial left-right, the real, which is the top-bottom. So how do the artificial right, and I'll come up the artificial left after this, how do the artificial right express their artificiality in relation to the real top-bottom? The answer to that is the state superstructure is already a divide and rule system in terms of raw power inequality and economic inequality. So the raw power megaphone we've just been talking about. Some rightists, right-wingers, throw into the mix, dividing the working class by expressing prejudice against elements of society. They do this safe in the knowledge that it won't harm the people at the top, it won't harm the state superstructure. Hence, this also deflects from the serious issues related to the real. I mean, we need to harm the state superstructure because it's the one that is putting all this artificiality out there and creating divisions, etc. It's creating made-up stuff, whereas we're all just people. Next question. How do the artificial left express their artificiality in relation to the real top, bottom spectrum. Start of this answer's exact same wording as for the right. The state superstructure is already a divide and rule system in terms of raw power inequality and economic inequality. So again, the raw power the liberal left have is the megaphones. So the liberal left sit pretty among the elite, while fake virtue signalling about being for the bottom. True, they're not racist nor homophobic, but on issues not won, such as the class war and warmongering, they're not interested, or they are the warmongers. They are on the side of the powerful in the class war. And you know, I watched a reconstruction in animation form of the Hiroshima bomb the other day. There's nothing that real authentic people should be opposed to more than that. It was absolutely terrible. I couldn't watch it to the end. Question. So to overcome the illusion, is it just about getting rid of the artificial propaganda? Answer. Yes. Reality is like a spectrum between blindness and sight. So we've got to become more conscious. Question. Doesn't power, control, propaganda, domination, manipulation have its place in human life? Answer. Yes, in myth, which is creative. I'm not insulting it there. And in sexual fantasy, sexual fetish. Question. How do we become clear-sighted? Answer. The person needs to see this in themselves, their own flaws. Needs to become consciously aware of themselves and see how this applies to outer world power and inequality. So just people, someone like Caitlin Johnston gets this. She has perfect vision on that spectrum. Unfortunately, the propaganda matrix, state superstructure propaganda matrix, does not want us to get it. I might make another video later based on Caitlin Johnston's novel that she's planning, which is about this sort of stuff. But for now, I think that's got to the point, got to the gist of the whole problem, and therefore that's the video.